All right. A lot of people here. Let's ask some questions.
Coach, if you want to start us off just talking about the attendance tonight, the crowd, the student crowd specifically.
Yeah, the students were amazing. I just hope they had enough fun that they come back. We worked really hard over the last week to, the Taylor Swift, the friendship bracelets, getting on campus multiple times, and hopefully we showed them what an impact they can make on a game. Their energy, we fed off their energy. I think the rest of the crowd feeds off their energy, and so super proud. Michaela, everyone involved on the marketing team that made that happen. I know our players did a lot of legwork, but they just really did a good job. Terrion and Michaela did an amazing job of selling the theme and making it happen.
Nicki, what did you learn about your team? I mean, that's a very good team over there. You never let them take the lead tonight.
Yeah, I'm just really proud. Our game plan was to get Peely in foul trouble. We thought she was the best way to defend her was her sitting on the bench. So that worked really well early. It worked a little bit faster than I anticipated, because she's such a nightmare on the low block. And if you go double, then they beat you from the arc. And so we had made the decision that we were going to make them go 2 by 2 by 2 and hope she occasionally missed, which she barely did. But at least we took the 3 away from her outside of, when we were down 1 when Jada got hit by the screen. And so I thought we were resilient. I thought we found ways when they would cut it to 5 or 4. We'd always make a play to keep it a 2-possession game. And I think that feeling, the fact that it never got to 1 possession, I thought was huge. Never had that pressing feeling like if we don't make a play, they can come down here and hit a 3 and tie it up. And so I thought Bella gave us tremendous minutes off the bench. Dre got us off to a great start. Sarah owned the end of the game, But I thought there were lots of moments where we started to see the Asia Blackwell that came from Missouri that, was attacking, finishing, 6 for 6 inside the arc. The game started to come back to her, and I saw her energy, her passion. But I just thought there were little moments along the way, even putting Yaya in with 6 seconds to go in the third. She's our fastest player end-to-end with the ball in her hand. And Bella sticking that 3. Those are like momentum plays that carry you into quarters. And so we had big plays like that that I thought, showed how tough we are. I thought Jada had a couple big plays in the second half. I could go down the line. Bugs' rebound, put back. Bugs didn't make her jumper. She's going to start to make that jumper. I believe in it 100%. And then I think the world's going to open to her, too.
Coach, Bella mentioned being Final Four ready. Granted, it's early, but does this prove that your team is Final Four caliber already?
Wow, that's bold. I love the confidence. And obviously, we've talked about Final Four standards, and I'll leave it at that, how we compete. I was proud that we showed up and competed. That was the key to me, that we came out, we matched them. I thought our advantage was athletically. I thought we had the athletic advantage, and, but you can't just get in a running game with them because they're better at attacking the paint and making threes than we are. And so to beat them from the arc in this game, I thought we took a couple bad ones, but for the most part, man, we had some key ones. I thought Sarah's threes were absolutely huge. Bella's 3, like I said, at the end of the third. I don't know about Final Four ready. I just want to be ready for Harvard on Sunday. But I think this team has the ability with wins like this. It can build momentum. It builds confidence. It makes you want to hit the practice floor again the next day and say, hey, look how good we can be when we put the pieces together and we have balance and people are making plays. And, and so I think we saw little bits and pieces of what we're capable of. We've just got to sustain. We've got to know when to pull it out and set it up and work the clock a little bit and move the basketball and make the extra pass. And, I thought we got off to such a good start that it was we felt like it was too easy to begin. Like we were making the one pass shot, and then Peely went to the bench, and that shot wasn't as clean because they didn't have someone sitting in the lane in the paint. So we needed to get to second and third actions, and I thought the energy, the excitement of how well we started shooting the basketball made us like play into shots that maybe weren't quite as good. So I thought as the game went along, we did a better job of mixing in the attack, when to pull up, when to kick, when to move the ball, and then make plays at the end. And, the biggest thing for us, and I know people talk about it all the time, but you got to make free throws in the last 5 minutes of a game. And the fact that Sarah was perfect from the line, that's a huge step for her. It's not that you look at her statistically over her career, and it's not been her best area, but she's the one whose hands I want the ball in late. She's the one I trust the most. And so you want your point guard to want those points at the end of the game. Like, I'm not passing it because here's where I can get 4 or 6 quick ones because they have to foul. And so that just kept the game at arm's length by making free throws late.
Nicki, you talked about Bella's 3 there at the end of the third. They had tied it up, and then you answered with a 12-3 run. How big was that just to answer?
Yeah, I think we obviously couldn't guard Peely one-on-one on a low block. So, it's scary to get in a match where you're taking threes and they're shooting one-on-one layups. We didn't want to give up threes to them, but I thought that the momentum, then our poise. I thought we had moments when I called the timeout at 6 minutes. I thought I needed to calm us down. I needed to give us just a breather, to take a deep breath, to understand how to play with a lead. We had some defensive breakdowns communication-wise when they were coming off their double drag or some of their handoffs, and we needed to calm down, and we needed to control the game, and that's what good teams do. They get a lead and they control it. But to win the first 3 quarters against them and to only get beaten the last one by 2, says a lot about this team, that we kept finding a way, even late in the clock when I had to call the timeout. And I told Sarah to bounce back. We'd run the same kind of zipper action the whole time. I said, bounce it back to the corner because she's playing you to go to the top, and then attack baseline. And just picking up that simple foul and getting to go to the foul line because we were in the bonus real early in that fourth quarter. So just doing little things like that, being able to execute. We had a few execution breakdowns, but we got better. It was early in the third that we were a hot mess.
Got time for a couple more questions.
Nicki, does this feel like the biggest win of your college coaching career?
Wow, good question. I would say it's our best home win. And I know it's the highest ranked team, but I think the pressure that first year's team had, the way we started, and then going up to Iowa State and beating them by 30 up there, that felt a lot like this, Like, in some ways, that whole year, I felt like we were supposed to win, so when we would win, I would just kind of take a deep breath and sigh. This just felt like, every kid out there but Sarah is a kid that we put in a Baylor uniform, the staff, and so they played a style that I think is really hard to guard, and I thought we got after it on defense, and so I'm just really proud that they are starting to show who they are and who we are, and how good we can be doing it our way, and so it feels really, really good, for sure. But I don't know. I'm like more of a reflective person later. I always just feel like a little bit after games, like I'm excited, but I feel like I played. And it's almost like I have to decompress. It's a big reason why I never meet with my teams after games. Win or lose, the emotions are too high. I always feel better about watching the film. Hey, we either did this well, we didn't. You're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. And the film never lies. And so just really proud of our resilience, proud of how Sarah, Sarah missed 6 months of basketball, 6 months. And she's just starting to get back. And so the shots she made, the free throws she made, I just hope this is a momentum builder for her and for Asia especially, who's kind of getting back into the flow.
How good does it feel that, like Dre had the good first quarter, you mentioned Sarah kind of closed it, that already the second game of the season, maybe the roles are still kind of being defined, but they're already kind of reading that game flow and kind of finding their own roles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we got to understand. We did, and I don't know if everyone sees this stuff. I mean, but when Neepkins got in foul trouble, we just wanted to keep going at her. We just felt like, she wasn't going to. If we got a low post catch, she wasn't going to be too physical, and so I just think we have the kind of team that I get to truly play chess with and move the pieces around. And, okay, they just, Neepkins came back in with 4. Okay, now she's on Bella. Okay, Asia, you got to play the 4. Bella, you play the 3. We're running an ISO for Bella. Like, we can do that now. We have kind of these pieces that can move around, and so it allows us to take advantage of things. Like our game plan obviously was to get Peely in as many screens as we could, and because she plays really deep drop coverage, and so Jada hitting a pull up 3 or a 2, like plays like that are just really important when they understand the game plan and then they're ready to execute it.
Great, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Came up big in the fourth quarter. Just talk about that and being able to beat a team like this at home.
It was a great win. I think everybody contributed in a different way. Everybody took over a quarter in some way and somehow. And like you said, in the fourth quarter, I kind of just let the game come to me. But we just played a great game tonight.
Bella hit the big 3 there at the end of the third quarter. How much momentum do you feel like that gave y'all to kind of stretch the lead a little bit there at the end of the third?
A whole lot. We were already on the up, but every day at practice, every single day, we work on that opposite wing drift pass to the corner for a 3, and to see that play out in the game and to hit that shot, especially to help stretch that lead, that was really fun. It was huge. You saw everyone's reaction, so we're like, yeah, it's paying off.
I've seen you hit that 3 before.
Yeah, it's because we work on it a whole lot.
Sarah, it seemed like this was kind of a different team today than maybe we saw last year in those critical moments. What did you kind of see, maybe from a team that can now finish when going against them?
I think you saw everybody grow up. Bella, Bugs, they're not freshmen no more. They're sophomores. You saw them play with poise. You saw us stick together as a team. We knew Utah's a great team. They were a free throw away from going to the Final Four last year. But, we knew they were going to go on runs, but it was about us sticking together and us playing Baylor basketball at the end of the day because we can go on runs just like they can.
Elaborate on that a little bit. I mean, sticking together as a team. I mean, you guys jumped out to a 10-0 lead. They did get tied in the third quarter, but you guys never let them go ahead at any point. How big was that, and just sticking to it and not letting that happen?
Every timeout, every huddle that we had on the court with and without the coaches, we talked about, okay, we have this under control. Like Sarah said, they're a really, really good team, and they play well together, but so do we. And we just had that poise and that control. We were like, okay, they're going to come back. They might punch us in the mouth, but we're going to punch them right back and keep control of this game.
Sarah, obviously early in the season, but what does this tell you about this group?
We can play on any given night. We're not afraid of nobody. I'll take this team against anybody in the country on any night.
Sarah, you talked about Dre and how she kind of can do it all. She showed a lot of that today. I mean, just another great performance for her. What did you see from her tonight?
You saw her be a senior on the floor. You saw her tell everybody, hey, it's okay, we're good. You saw her step up and be a leader, like you said. Dre's just somebody that's going to come to play every night. You want to be on her team, not the other team going against her. And I'm just super proud, watching her play.
Asia came out for 13 points tonight. How did it feel to have her back in that form that we saw her in early last season before she got hurt?
Real good. I love me some Asia Blackwell. That's like my big sister. So, just seeing her out there and healthy and able to move, taking charges, defending. She had a really tough job tonight, and I think everyone who shared that job of guarding Pilly did really, really well. Of course, she got loose a little bit, but that's what she does. But I think that leadership from her, just staying solid defensively so that we had the opportunity to shut down the rest of the team, it was really good for us.
A couple more questions. Anybody has any?
You talked over the game shooting 40% from 3. You held them to 6 for 24. What worked out there on defense on the perimeter?
We just played Baylor basketball. we stuck together. We knew that we were going to have to guard the three-point line. Our goal was to make them go 2 by 2 by 2, but you knew they were going to knock down threes. It was just about how you respond. Like, we couldn't drop our head just because they made 1 3. It was about, okay, let's go on to the next play. Let's make them go 2 by 2 by 2. It was about the next man being up, and I think everybody took on a role of, we're going to run them off the three-point line and make them beat us a different way.
Zach, you got the last question?
Yeah, Bill, where does the energy in this team come from? It looks like you're all having fun out there. Obviously, it's a big game. You're all up for it. But where does the energy of this team come from?
Just us pulling for each other. We've had a lot of really, really hard days working hard, and just a lot of conversations about how we want to hold each other to a Final Four standard this year, how we want to be the best Baylor team that we can be this season, because we're not going to get a chance to step out with this exact same team ever again. So, just coming out strong for each other every time.
All right, thanks, ladies.
Thank you.